In the land of Hyrule there lies a darkness, malice and hatred so powerful that not even death can hold it back. Time and time again, this hatred for the goddess and her champion manifests itself into physical form, a form so devilish and gruesome that no one has ever crossed one and lived to tell the tale.
A pig. Well, boar, to be more accurate. Welcome back, information enthusiasts. Hopefully you've gotten your fill of lessons, because we're on to something even more mystical this time around. And of course, make yourself at home, new people, but don't get too comfy. We usually travel a lot in this series. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Ganon, not Ganondorf. If you're unclear on what the difference is, it's actually pretty simple. Ganon is evil incarnate's true form. Ganondorf is the humanoid version that was first revealed in A Link to the Past, and has since popped up in most Zelda titles following 1991. Fun fact, his full name, according to the original Western game manual and Zelda's official website, is Ganondorf Dragmire. And he's single. Ganon is the main antagonist of the Zelda series. He's the embodiment of the Demon King Demise's hatred for the goddess and her chosen one. Or if you're this fancy schmancy Hyrule Historia book, the reincarnation of Demise himself. Or itself, if you listen to Fi. But I mean, who does that? I mean, seriously though, I know I just started this episode, but let's take a step back and talk about this for a moment. Then we'll hop back to Ganon. Skyward Sword gets so much hate. So much hate! And I get it, there are things that could have been handled better. Same could be said for almost anything, but I didn't read or watch anything about this game and I played it all the way through. I got to the end and was like, damn, that was fun, and I got to learn about where everything came from. Then I went to the internet and I was shocked at how popular it was to hate on this game. I guarantee that if I read the internet's cancerous negativity, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I did, and that would just ruin the experience. So this is my point. Play a game, form your own opinion, then talk about it. And that's it. That's all I had to say. A second ago, I mentioned that Ganon is essentially the reincarnation of the Demon King Demise, so let's get some background on him too. Demise wanted to take the world from the goddess Hylia after the Golden Goddesses gave the Triforce to her. He gathered an army and got his ass kicked by Hylia and the 5 tribes, and they sealed him away at the sacred grounds where he remained as the imprisoned. Blah blah blah, Link does some stuff, blah blah blah, Demise is released and he fights Link. Like, really fights him? He's not like a giant black bean. After Demise's defeat, he warns Link that it wasn't over and that his hatred would be reborn to pursue those born with the blood of the goddess, the chosen one bearing the spirit of the hero, and of course, domination over the world. And so from that, we beget Ganon. During the development of The Legend of Zelda, he was referred to as Jumao Hakai, or Bull Demon King Hakai, which is in reference to the characters Cho Hakai and Jumao from Journey to the West, a Chinese novel written in the 16th century during the Ming Dynasty. Jumao is the Bull Demon King in this novel, and Cho Hakai is the nickname given to Zhu Beiji, a part human, part pig creature. Now this is just me speculating, but there is a point in the novel which Jumao disguises himself as Cho Hakai, which might have led the development team to put the Bull Demon King and the pig together in the first place. But why male models? I mean, but why a pig of all things? Demise looks like he could be Akuma's long-lost brother, and he comes back as a boar? I keep forgetting they don't like to be called pigs. Pigs have been regarded as unclean in many places across the world. In Judaism, unclean animals are a pretty big part of the kashrut, the part of Jewish law that separates kosher food, which is okay to eat, and the food that is forbidden. In order to be okay for consumption in regards to mammals, the animal has to have cloven hooves and ruminate, like cattle, goats, and sheep. If it has only one of those features, it is not okay. Pigs specifically show one of the signs of being kosher, the hooves, but do not chew their own cud. This can be seen as having false piety, showing one thing but internalizing another, which is inherently bad, well, anywhere. Pigs are also filthy and can harbor diseases. Think back to a time when disease was poorly understood, and you could see the mysticism behind that one. Oh, Hezekiah, you're out with the pigs and now you've been cursed. You are dying. You've been having too much of the Mr. Coke and the hot ham sandwich. Pigs are also anatomically similar to humans, and that's something that we've known for a very long time. In a weird way, this could be used to reflect what a human could become. Lazy, rolls in filth, just eats. A very real reminder of greed, gluttony, and sloth, 3 of the 7 deadly sins. Additionally, around the 16th century, calling someone a pig started to become an insult, regardless of whether or not you were a cop. This eventually evolved into referencing cops exclusively, unless you're talking about a sloppy eater. In 1811, the Dictionary of Buckish Slang, University Wit, and Pickpocket Eloquence stated the following instance: "The pigs frisked my panty and nailed my screws," meaning the officers searched my house and seized my picklocks. It also became popular in the 1960s when used by protesters voters at the 1968 Democratic National Convention, and the media took it from there. I could go on for a while about this, but I think you get it. Pig is bad. Ganon is a power-hungry entity, consuming all of Hyrule and lusting after power and control. Greed and gluttony are Ganon's main footholds in my belief as to why a pig was chosen to be his form. Boars in Japanese culture are also widely viewed as fearsome and reckless. This is referenced in the timeline after Ocarina of Time. Once he becomes Demon King Ganon, he is essentially split in two. Ganondorf is manipulative, smart, coordinated, cunning, you name it. But his bestial form is a violent embodiment of raw power and destruction. An oracle of seasons and ages, Twin Rova failed to resurrect Ganon correctly, and when he is born, he is a mindless beast. In Twilight Princess, Liev Schreiber makes a cameo and we get a similar monstrosity. Blind Rage, etc., etc. In Breath of the Wild, we have a similar version of Twilight Princess, but completely consumed by malice, as seen by these bright flames everywhere. In comparing the inspiration with the character, Ganon fits the bill very well. Japanese culture is very often put into their video games, and as far as villains go, Ganon is arguably the most fearsome and powerful of them all. Immortality created by hatred, the power of the goddess Din infused with his being, is manipulative and aggressive. The duality of Ganon in Ocarina of Time is reminiscent of the belief in Judaism regarding pork. Ganon appears before the king and he seems to be there on good terms, but on the inside, we know what he's really plotting. In a similar fashion, pigs have hooves, which look like they'd be okay to eat, but really, when you dig deeper, they don't ruminate. Gotta admit, that's pretty clever. On top of that, he's got an insatiable, greedy, and gluttonous appetite for power and domination, as well as for the end of the goddess and her hero. I honestly can't think of a better creature than a boar to depict what the embodiment of hatred could look like. To me, the fact that it's a mammal kind of makes it hit home. We see pigs in booties and raincoats, but what we fail to see outside of the cute pictures is that it will inevitably grow to be pretty disgusting and undesirable. I find it to be an interesting point of view on the human condition. We are born into this world innocent and cute, but we grow and we're brought up around envy, sloth, wrath, gluttony, greed, lust, and by the time we reach a certain age, are we no different than Ganon? When you look back at your life, did your choices lead you down the path of the chosen hero, or did you allow yourself to become the boar? You know, just food for thought. That went well. Oh, you thought I was only going to talk about things that don't compare? In any case, if you haven't watched my Lushen video, you can click on it right here, or if you want to see what's going on with Bahamut, you can click over here. It's been a pleasure to make this, and I'm glad you stuck through it all. Please like, subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter if you want to talk about episodes or give me ideas for episodes, and yeah, I think that's about it as far as shameless plugs go. Seriously, thank you, and see you next time.